Hey, everybody, welcome. Thank you so much for joining us. Super excited to have my guest here in our Theta Healing Power Hour. And just a reminder, and what this is going to look like is you get to meet Miss Lauren Kane, who I will introduce to y'all, and she's going to give us a lot of really great information. And then we're going to do a little work on some challenges that we have and the shifts that we need in order to like move forward in the information that she's giving us. So let me get this party started and get Miss Lauren introduced to you. So this is Lauren Kane, guys. And she gets investors to open their checkbooks for market disrupting female entrepreneurs. So Lauren is a pitch strategist, a founder of VC Worthy Business, and she helps female entrepreneurs develop an attention grabbing pitch that investors can't ignore. So Lauren's worked with female entrepreneurs for the past decade, spending 6 years as a director of operations and fund administrator for one of the largest angel groups, Golden Seeds. So during her time at Golden Seeds, she worked with over 100 female founders. Prior to Golden Seeds, Lauren worked with in banking with Bank of America, PNC, and a small local community bank. So she also spent time consulting with small businesses. So she is taking what she knows from being on the investor side of the table and bringing that knowledge to help support female entrepreneurs looking for investor capital. She also supports female entrepreneurs as an angel investor. So when she isn't working, which we were just talking before this, like when is that? She is relaxing with her husband and her son. Impressive. Welcome, Lauren.
Thank you so much for having me. I'm so happy to be here.
I'd say I think, you're probably like, what? It's COVID. Why are you talking to Lauren Kane on your co-live, Brenda? But this is the thing that most people do not realize. More millionaires are made during recessions than any other time, and it is historically proven. The facts are there, guys. You can Google it. And so what we have now in this day and age are more options and how people can get funded. I mean, thank you, Shark Tank, for making us aware of what's out there, right? So, I feel like it would benefit people. And the reason that more millionaires are made, and I often say it doesn't have to happen from, hoarding hand sanitizer in our garage or printing Black Lives Matter t-shirts. There are many ways that we can do this legally, ethically, morally, and it's seeing what's in the marketplace. And so at times when people say are not working as much, or they have figured out the illusion that having a corporate job is job security, that they get to say, okay. So I really thought that Lauren would really be able to give you some information to just open your eyes and change your story if that's what you want to have happen. So that's one of the many reasons why we have Lauren here. But I just thought, God, this would be a really cool subject for people to talk about. So Lauren, I wanted to ask you just some questions so that people can get some information. So what type of business would attract an investor?
That's a good question. And that's the $1 million question, right? Or it could literally be $1 million question. So
many
I
million.
I like to say it's something that is disruptive. So, and it doesn't have to be big D disruptive, like a Google or a Facebook. It can be little d disruptive. It could be, a different way of doing something that we do every day, and it can be tweaking it slightly. So it could be, and I always come up with the worst examples when I do this. It could be like a new type of shoe or a new tech platform. Something that changes the way that we're used to doing something. But again, it doesn't have to be big and huge. It can be small. But what investors are looking for is a huge market opportunity. So if you come up with, and this is where the recession piece comes in, a lot of times we get creative in times where, we're like a recession where we're forced to get creative, and we think of new things and a new way of living life. And if there's enough people that would be interested in it, that's where you can receive some investor capital to help you grow and scale your business. So it doesn't have to be these huge things. It can be something very small and maybe something you're not even thinking that would be attractive. It doesn't have to be Shark Tank. Shark Tank's not real, but it's sort of Shark Tank-esque a little bit. I'll give them that.
Right. But
Yeah.
I think it gives us an idea that there are investors out there. Like, I think
Right.
that, again, I think that some things get on TV or there's a movie made or something or a documentary, and it kind of goes, oh, because some of us didn't even know that that was an option that was out there or that such a thing existed.
Yes. It's
And
one
then
of
you
those
start to
things that,
research, I'm going to tell you, you start to research, and then you're going to understand why what Lauren is going to be telling us is valuable.
right. And the thing is that I see so many entrepreneurs come to investor capital almost when it's too late. So they come from like a place of desperation of, okay, I just now found out about this world that I can be a part of, and it's unknown, it's scary, and there's a lot of weird random terms and words that we throw around. And it can seem overwhelming. And then businesses shut down because they don't have the ability to really ever get to that larger market, because it is really sort of an unknown world.
Because there is a place where you need money to upscale. Yeah, either and unfortunately, like what Lauren is talking about is that people will be looking at that in order to be able to sustain. But investors, and I'm guessing I may be putting words in her mouth. I'm not looking at all the questions as we're just talking here right now. But the thing is that you, like what she's saying, is that you want to be more at the beginning than if you don't do this, I'm going out of business. Because investors are then like, what happened here? And what type of person are you? Like, I don't, like, and I'm guessing, right? I could be wrong, but I'm guessing that investors don't want to be putting out a fire.
Right. No.
They want to be feeding a fire, like they want to be feeding growth and fire. Yes. They don't want to be putting out a fire that has started, that it's going to like end up becoming like out of control.
Yes. Yeah. And I think that there's, especially for women, we tend to think we need to do it ourselves, and that we have to bootstrap, that we have to lean on family and friends to grow our businesses, that, we just have to, it's on our shoulders. And it doesn't have to be, because the reality of it is, to really take a business from here to like here, you're going to need a big influx of money. And most of us don't have that just sitting around. If we did, good for us. I mean,
just wait till the end until you get some downloads, right? Or pass this information on to friends, And so just a reminder, guys, please share this, tag people that you think would be interested in this, or tag people that you think maybe need to be interested in this. Like it's something, again, for those of us who have some time on our hands, I know it's not Lauren or I'm just going to tell you that, but for other people who have some time on their hands, that, information, knowledge is power. It allows you to be able to understand. And even if you're working with a business coach, there's just a point when you have a plan and you are going to need more money. And that's why it's also, this is great information to have. So Lauren, what is the difference between an angel investor and venture capital?
Yeah.
New words, guys.
Right. So venture capital is most widely known. And so venture capital is basically a pool of money that's created. So a fund that is a bunch of investors. So investors have to be of a certain income level to be able to invest. So it's pooled together in a fund, and there's partners that make the decision on the investments. So the people that invested their money into that fund don't have a say on what companies that money is used towards. Angel investors could still be part of a group. Like I'm part of an angel group here in Atlanta, but you write your own checks. So you make your own decision of which investments you want to make, and you write your own checks. And so angels tend to be earlier. VCs can be at the same level, the early stage, as angels, but then they tend to go on longer. So those are the 50 million, $100 million investments that, you know, a lot of times we hear about before companies go into private equity, which is then lots more money than that. But angel investors and VCs tend to both invest early on. And that can be, you know, there's different rounds names, but, you know, right after you go to market, you can seek investor money. Or if you have an investor or a go-to-market strategy, you can seek investor money. So it doesn't mean that you have to necessarily have a huge amount of revenue for these types of investors to consider you for investment, which is really interesting. You know, they're looking for those next big ideas. I mean, Instacart was an idea. Lyft was an idea. Uber was an idea. So it doesn't
online trading was an idea.
Was an idea. Everything somewhere started as an idea that someone had, and, you know, problem that they wanted to solve. And, you know, to get to be as big as they are, they probably took in investor money at some point.
Right. And Walmart was an idea.
Mm-hmm.
Dell was an idea. I mean, that's what people don't understand. There's some people who did stock options or got in at the beginning,
Mm-hmm.
and, you know, they're multi-millionaires now.
Mm-hmm.
So they're, again, that's why, you know, investing being, you know, again, so if you would like to see what it's like to be an angel investor, if you want to look into that, that's another reason that I'm sure Lauren could pass that on. But also, you know, I think it's really important to understand as well, because at one point several years ago, I had an idea and I, you know, Googled angel investing, and it was overwhelming, guys. It was overwhelming. And that's why what Lauren, the experience one that she has, did you hear that bio? And then, you know, what she does and how she helps people. Again, you know, I've been an entrepreneur for 28 years. What I know is that we have to pay people to help us. A mentor, it's lovely to have, doing some free things online. But if you're truly, you know, putting your stake in the ground and saying, I want to do this, you have to invest. And somebody helping you either get the money, helping somebody, you know, direct your business and come up with a plan. There's strategies. So this is one of them. And I promise you that an in general business coach is not going to know what Lauren knows. Just saying, just gonna put it out there to understand that. And if you also, you know, again, I could go on and on about this. So tell us, Lauren, what is the investor market like now here during COVID, right?
Yeah. So, you know, it was a little scary in the beginning. You know, I came into this world right at the tail end of the recession that, you know, happened in 2007.
We had lots of them, guys.
I'm like, I don't know what month it is, day, whatever. Like a long time ago, like a decade ago.
Right.
And, you know, there was a lot of fear because during the recession, investor money fled. I mean, it just disappeared. People lost a ton in the stock market. They made really bad investment choices, and it was really a crazy time. And people were fearful that that was going to happen again. And so we've all kind of been holding our breath to see what was going to happen. And, you know, I will say it hasn't happened. And I think there was a conscious effort from the community that it wouldn't happen this time. Because what happened in the recession is that companies that were amazing had to close because they didn't have the money to keep growing, and because investors went away. And so there was a conscious effort this time to not have that happen. And so, you know, there's been a switch towards, if you are a, you know, female founded company, if you are a Black founded company, that you're going to get more of the dollars. There's more open mind now, especially to Black founders, to receive capital, which Black founders historically have had a really hard time getting investor money. Really, really difficult time. I don't want to share the stats. It would make you cry. Doors are now opening. And so it is really, really, truly now's the time. But I will say that what investors are looking for are companies that are, not just a flash in the pan. They're really going to check under the hood now. They're going to make sure this is really a legitimate idea. We really can get behind this. It's really going to make money, because the reality of it was before COVID, there was so much money flying around that if you pitched enough times, you could get money. Someone will write you a check. Now, investors are taking a step back and saying, okay, really, how does this diversify my portfolio? What is the risk tolerance that I have? And so is this company really something I want to put my money into? And so they're going to look at your numbers. They're going to look at what your traction is. They're going to look at, your customers, and they're going to make sure that you know your stuff. So if you're a solid entrepreneur and you know your business, which, as entrepreneurs, we know our business is best, right? But if you really know your stuff, there is a good chance that you're going to get funded. But you just got to know your stuff. You got to have yourself put together, and investors will back you. If they know that story is something that's going to sell, they will back you.
And I think that's, again, 28 years being self-employed. And that's why I said whenever, because my thing has always been, and this is the deal too, right? We knew a recession was coming. It's not like a recession came as a result of COVID-19. We knew it was coming. And as an entrepreneur, again, that's why, not everybody is, but those of us who can ride the waves, because that's what being an entrepreneur is. I often say here in the US, every 4 years, people are going to spend less money. During an election year, people hold on to their money until they see who's going to be president. And then all of a sudden November hits and the floodgates open and people start spending money. And it makes your year, but you have to be able to know this and plan for it and not get freaked out about it. Mm-hmm. And that's why, when Lauren's saying, well, 10 years ago, whatever, it's like, I started my last company, my 7-figure sales company, during a recession. It just is. And again, because of us being more aware and having more information, recessions do not have to become depressions. They just become recessions, which are temporary. So it either wakes some people up so that they can be on a road to become millionaires, or it allows people to upscale, or it allows people to not, right? Like, I'm just going to say, you can take this information, choose it. And again, tag somebody who you feel like needs to be inspired to hear this, even if it's somebody who doesn't want to have an investor, if they just need some hope, right? Because this is what this is also about as well, is to inspire you, give you hope, and know that things are possible, things can change, and take this information in what way it can fit into your life. And so let's also, Lauren, tell us, what are your top 3 tips for anybody? So get a pen, guys. So here's the question. What are your top 3 tips for anyone looking to raise investor capital?
Yeah. So first, you do have to do your research. You have to know a little bit about what you're getting yourself into, right? It's not something you can just say, hey, I'm going to wake up tomorrow and flip the switch. So I would say the first thing is, understand what is going to be expected of you. So what are you going to need to have prepared? So your financials, your balance sheet, your profit and loss, your go-to-market strategy. What are you going to use your funds for? And if you Google what to include in your pitch deck, all of this will come up in various different forms, but it allows you to start to put together okay, do I have all of this? Can I confidently talk about all this? And then also be really, really clear on what problem you are solving. If you are not clear on what problems your customers have and why they would come to you and buy your solution, investors aren't going to understand it. They're not going to be clear. And a lot of times entrepreneurs, and I'm sure you've seen this, a lot of times entrepreneurs, we just get so excited talking about the solution we have that people don't say, well, okay, but why would I buy this thing that you offer? I don't, why would I buy this new piece of software that's going to, come up with all social media posts for me until the end of time and I won't need to think of anything. Why am I going to do that? You gotta understand the problem and that your customers have. And sometimes that can be standing in a place of being uncomfortable, right? And not being uncomfortable. You also have to understand what is your value and what are you worth in this whole process. And that is, and some people might say, well, what are you talking about? When people tend to come to look for money, they come from a place of desperation. And that the person writing them a check holds all the power because they need that check to be able to do the thing. Well, let me tell you, you hold all the power because you know what? Your idea, your thing is going to make them rich. So they need you more than you need them. And so when you are able to understand that you have this amazing thing that the world needs, that your customers need, that you hold the power, it makes the conversation a lot easier. And it makes your pitch a lot easier because if an investor sees you standing in your power, then they want to stand there with you. They're like, I want to do what she's doing or he's doing. I want to come along on this ride. This is really attractive. So those are my top 3 things.
And I that is, and again, some of these are like in life in general, right? Mm-hmm. That we want. And we were, that we're going to do some work around that, knowing our value, knowing our power. And this is the thing, guys. And I think sometimes we get caught up. You can get certain information, searching on the internet. But to have somebody hold your hand, explain to you how to pitch, what to say, what not to say, you're not going to get that from a book. You're not going to get that from a Google search. You know what I mean? Like, you're not going to get that. You can get like all your paperwork together. You can get everything together and understand how you're going to do it. But I think, Lauren and I had a conversation before, where some people, and this was before COVID, had all the information and were going in front of investors and not getting money. Why? Because they were, like she was saying, they weren't saying the right things. And it's not like they were saying, we're not talking about lies or anything. It's how you say things or what you remember to say in order to add value, and that people, so that people can say, oh, like she said, oh, I want to invest in you. Like, got it. I want to do this. And again, that's an amazing deal. And, you see so much that people come up with these ideas, and investors invest in ideas. As long as there's a plan, again, as long as you have all your paperwork and then you've communicated how much money everybody can make, right? Because angel investors, of course, they are, again, wanting to even out the inequalities that have been like in women and minority businesses. But also too, they're not just, it's not a charity. They have to understand the value to be able to make money. And I think that that's true as well. If you know your stuff, if you get why somebody would want this, they'll get it. But that's why it's good to be able to have somebody to help you understand how to pitch and to practice. But to practice the right pitch, not to practice, again, I have a sales background. There's a script to sell somebody, and you can go off the cuff, but I promise you, I learned a long time ago, don't reinvent the wheel, go with the script. And again, and we don't want it to sound like a script, but there's a method to the madness, I'm guessing, Lauren, right?
Oh, completely. Yeah. it is storytelling, right? It is taking people on a journey, which is a sales conversation. It's totally a sales conversation because at the end, instead of buying the thing, you want them to write you a check to make the thing bigger and better. But it is really, truly having that sales script or that story script it is you, it is authentically you, it is authentically your business, and it's powerful so that, and this is sales part, the investor says, "Ooh, okay, I want to know, more about that. I want to learn more. How can I be a part of this? Because you know what? This is going to make money."
Right. Because that's the big thing too. I think, again, let me spell it out for people. Investors want an idea or a product or a business that's going to make them money. But you have to sell them on the idea and you. And that's, I think, probably, where the disconnect, I'm guessing, I'm maybe putting words into Lauren's mouth, where there's a disconnect at times for people.
Completely, because, in an early stage, investors are investing in just as much the person, the founder, as the business. And they need to feel that one is a connection with that person, so that they feel, okay, I'm getting them. I really like them. I want to have a relationship with them and know that you're going to be the leader that they're looking for. And, it's okay if you're nervous. It's okay if you fumble your words, but if you are able to be yourself through the whole process, investors sometimes will invest more so in the founder than they will the company, because you can take a so-so company and have an amazing founder, and that founder will sales will be off the charts. They will grow that thing beyond belief. But if you take an amazing company with a so-so founder, so the opposite, it can cause the company to tank. So because they just don't know what to do and how to lead. So investors really will, back you and the company. And sometimes I hear, okay, well, I'm not a CEO. Okay, I don't know if that's necessarily true or not, because there's some other stuff mixed up in there, right? But it doesn't necessarily have to be you as the CEO. You can say, I'm raising funds because I want to hire a rock star CEO, and I'm going to do the part in this company that I love. Maybe it's the design, maybe it's marketing, whatever it is. I'm going to bring someone else in to be the face, and I'm going to do the part that is my passion.
Right, because this is the thing, and it's what you hear over and over again. Do your zone of genius.
Right.
And it may not be running a company. I mean, some of the most creative people are very disorganized, and that's okay. I mean, so don't feel like I have to have this and I've got to do this and I have to be this. No, you have to have a plan. You have to have a strategy. You have to show that there's potential for money, and you have to know how to present it. AKA pitch, right? That's what it, and once you get all of those together, then checks can be written. Lives can be changed. In so many ways. This is such a analogy in so many ways, in so many different areas of our lives. Gosh. So, Lauren, what do investors expect in return for investing in a company?
Yeah. So, they're not expecting you to, all of a sudden in a year have Amazon buy your company and you make, billions of dollars. They're expecting a company that's going to grow strategically, with a plan every year, grow a little bit. They're not going to be looking for their money back for about 5 to 7 years, sometimes even 10 years, depending on the type of company. And so, they're in it for the long haul. They're looking for a company that, again, is going to grow strategically. And then at the end, you've got to be able to say, I no longer, need to be the owner of this company. I'm happy to, sell it to another company. I'm happy to take it public. I'm happy to have a private equity company come in. So you have to be able to take a step back at some point and let go. So if you can't let go of your company, if you're like, this is my thing that I'm going to be doing for the rest of my life, probably not something an investor is going to want to invest in, but they want to see, okay, I have a plan to take it to, 20, 30, $40 million in a number of years, and eventually have an exit. And so an exit would be when someone wants to buy you or take you public and all that great things. And basically where there's an influx of money that you can retire is the goal.
Right, exactly. I mean, that's the thing. It's like you can be attached or you can be rich. Which one you want, right? Or wealthy. We'll say wealthy. But that's the thing. It's like, I mean, and we see this so many times with so many people of having ideas, getting investors, and then being able to sell it. Or even, because I don't know, I lived in Northwest Arkansas. So I went to the Sam Walton Museum, and I know that Walmart gets a bad rap, but I'm telling you, Sam Walton was amazing. And this guy went door to door asking for money. This was back in the day. And, those people who chose to give him money, that's why they call them the Walmart, millionaires. And his family still runs the organization. And they do a lot of philanthropic things. And they do, I mean, that's what money affords us to do, is to be more philanthropic, to be able to give back or be part of an angel investing, board or whatever that looks like, in whatever way, right? However we want to give back to the world. So I feel like that at times, people get so stuck in making money to exist or to live day to day. But when you make a lot of money, it allows you so much more freedom, and not just to do whatever you want or own as many cars as you want or anything like that. Because I promise you, that gets old quick. It's, helping change the world, helping change people's lives.
Well, and the amazing thing is,
go ahead, Lauren.
Well, the amazing thing is that usually entrepreneurs are not just one-time entrepreneurs. Like, it's when you have that
serial entrepreneurs, right?
You're a serial entrepreneur. And so usually when you are able to exit and make some money at that thing that you were doing, you have other ideas of other things that you want to do. Or like you said, give back and help other entrepreneurs who might have been where you started out, and say, okay, hey, I'm going to write you a check for $100,000 because I understand the value of it to you where you sit right now. And so it allows you so many different options, and options are such a beautiful thing, especially where we're all kind of sitting now and scared of what options are going to go away, or that we don't have options. Imagine sitting in a place where something like, hopefully we never have to see this time again, ever. But in a moment where, the world's sort of uncertain, to say, okay, I don't have to worry about, being able to feed my family, to keep the lights on. I don't have to worry about that, because you know what? I have money in the bank, and that gives me peace of mind. Or maybe under your mattress. Sometimes money in the bank is not, but wherever you want to keep it,
I got money.
But it gives you peace of mind and a little more protection, to those uncertain times.
Absolutely. And just knowing that there are options. That's the thing. There are options. So we all kind of sat back in March, right? Like, what's going on? But now here it is July, and we're saying, okay, we're going to move on. There are options. The sky didn't fall down. We do need to be safe. We do need to be smart, whatever that looks like for everybody. I'm not advocating one way or another. I know the decisions that I've made for me, but I'm not saying that it has to be everybody's decisions. But that's the thing, where we have options, and having options, I don't know if there's anything better, like having choice. That's the big thing, is that what people don't understand about that. And, having, and that's the thing, like, I so relate to what Lauren just said, because I had a 7-figure sales company that, I'm going to be honest, I sold my soul. Like, I did it at the expense of my soul. And then that was when I was like, this next time around, I want to make a difference. I want to help people. I want to, what did that look like? And then I looked at my options, like, and what I would do. And it took, in a little time to get where I am now. And I just like to help people make money. So I also love to give people information so that they can know how to make money. But I also like to help them get out of their way so that they can make money. Because that's, again, that's what we're talking about. Like, feeling the fear and doing it anyways, right? That's been a big conversation a lot lately. And again, I'm not telling you to go off and do something. And that's the thing too, is like, we're not telling you, you don't have to, and it doesn't have to be all your money. It doesn't have to be all your family's money. It has to be a good, it can't be a flash in the pan. It has to be a good idea. So please share this, tag people, give them some idea on some options that they have. Possibly, I would think that this conversation that we're having right now, to be honest, would inspire people in so many different areas of their lives and just give them some information. So we're going to do a little bit of work, a little bit of theta healing work, right? Because Lauren's going to share this with like her group and her peeps. And of course, I always share, but you get the beauty of hearing about Lauren. So, I'm Brenda B. Bailey. For those of you who don't know, I have a program called Shatter Your Income Ceiling, and I help entrepreneurs shatter their income ceiling. That's what I do. And what I really love, because I love the saying, money's not the most important thing, but it touches everything that is. Again, another reason why we want money. And people can tell me how they think and how they feel. What you actually create in your life is what you believe. So if you really want to see what it is that you believe, look at your world now. So is there fear? Then that's, there's some beliefs there that are holding that in place. Is there opportunity? Is there hope? Is there faith? There's the beliefs that match that as well. A lot of information that is out there will say, just change how you think and it'll change how you believe. And if you've got that kind of time, God bless you, go ahead. But with theta healing, what we do is we bypass the brain, the conscious and the subconscious, and we make changes at a cellular level, which then allows your brain and your emotions to follow that. And again, direct us in the ways that are for our highest and best good, that are going to open up opportunities. So awarenesses like this, like what Lauren is talking about, and looking at something, I mean, I'm going to tell you, anybody that's out there right now, because again, just being in that higher vibration and in that energy of hope, you just never know what can happen. Like, you may be thinking like that you had an idea, and I'm going to tell you this is, again, scientifically proven. If you've got an idea and you've either shared it, said it, thought it, if you don't act on it, you know what? Somebody else will, because it's in the ethers, and somebody else will take action. So again, I don't want to like make you freak out like, oh my God, but you got to take action. Because guess what? An idea is just an idea. So what we're going to do is, I always, whenever I work with a new group, person, client, student, because I also teach this technique, is we always make sure that they have 3 beliefs in place. I want an instant healing, I deserve an instant healing, and an instant healing is possible. You do have to say yes out loud, because this is a very respectful modality. So it's not like I'm just going, everybody needs healing and I'm just going to do healing for them. It's that you got to want it. You have to say yes. And when we say yes out loud, the universe hears us, whoever you believe to be your higher power hears us, but most importantly, your brain hears it and goes, okay, we're going to allow this because they said yes. So I want an instant healing. I deserve an instant healing. An instant healing is possible. I'm going to, Lauren, cue you. Would you like those?
Yes.
Okay. So I often say, and having done this for 14 years, what I find most with people is that they either have, it's either non-forgiveness, trauma, or a belief that's held on a cellular level that prevent people from change, that prevent people from moving forward. And so we want to change, and we're going to go to like the root of it. And we may not know what that is, because with theta healing, the cool thing is that not only do we heal things that have happened in this lifetime, but also possibly something that you just brought in with you, that you had inherited or that you carry around in your soul, which sounds like kind of all out there. But I got to tell you, I've worked with many a business person over the years, and a lot of times they'll be like, I'm not sure what you do, but it works. Things have changed, things are different, money's coming in, deals are closing, whatever industry people are in. So we want to change what prevents us from knowing our value. We want to change what prevents us from being in our power. So let's go ahead and change that we're obligated to be a victim. And let's also change that we're obligated to be a survivor, because I know that a survivor sounds really good, but the deal is, from a theta healing perspective, that if you're a survivor, guess what? You keep attracting things to survive. So we want to change that. So if you would like those, just say yes out loud.
Yes.
We want to change the ability. So let me just say, when Lauren was talking, I was thinking it takes money to make money. So we want to shift what prevents you from having all the options to receive money in order to make money. We also want to change what obligates you to be attached to your business, your idea, your plan. Because we've got to be able to, again, get out of our way in order for the highest good. So if you would like those, just say yes out loud.
Yes.
And then one last round. We want to, and I think it's maybe a little redundant, but we want to be able, we want to change what prevents us from creating options. And we want to change what prevents us from having a choice, like making choices. So choices and options are important. So if you would like those, just say yes out loud.
Yes.
So Lauren's been a great featured guest, and she's been an amazing cure of saying yes. I'm going to tell you, she did good. But also, and just know, guys, I will post this in the comments below. But go ahead and tell them what your free offer is.
Yeah, so I offer a free strategy session where, we can chat and talk about that idea that you have, and if seeking investor capital is right for you, or if you're already on that path, if there's a place that you're stuck, we can help you get unstuck. Or if you just want to learn more about, what is angel investing, what's VC, tell me more about all these weird words. I'm happy to do that too.
But watch this and you'll get that so that you can have a better use of your time, guys. I'm just saying that, and so it's free. And yeah. How long is it?
It's about an hour.
Okay.
And you'll walk away with some clear steps.
And then, so free, 60 minutes of Lauren's time with all the experience that she has. And how can they find that to do that, Lauren?
Yeah, sure. So there's my website, which is vcworthybusiness.com, or they can check me out on LinkedIn. I'm on LinkedIn as Lauren Kane, or Instagram, Lauren Kane, VCWB. So you feel free to or comment below, and I'm happy to, send you a link to schedule right directly on my calendar. So Easy peasy.
We'll put the link below in the comments so that y'all can see it
Yep.
and be able to get a hold of her. I mean, what do you got to lose? 60
Right.
minutes of your time, right? Which I'm telling you, Lauren's got more to lose on that, right? But she's willing to do it, which I think is a very generous offer. And, that's the thing. I look at people and say, okay, so if you can't get out of your way to be able to contact Lauren, then contact me because I'll help you get out of your way. And I have to tell people, if you have any questions about Theta Healing, if you'd like to take a class, because classes are very inexpensive. And for the first time in 20 years, we get to teach virtually. It's always been mandatory in person. I mean, we had to re-sign contracts and everything. So this has been a huge deal for us to be able to do that. I'm kind of like Lauren, if you got some questions about Theta Healing, what a next step would be, classes, session, coaching, I also consider myself a disruptor because I approach finances and income differently than most people because I want you to get out of your way. That's the deal. And most people want to make it about your worthiness. And that's just a symptom, guys. I'm just going to tell you that right now. So we'll have the comment, and then also too, if you just need a little inspiration, I offer a free abundance MP3. That's 1 minute and it will change how you're approaching things. But I often tell people, listen to it first thing in the morning, last thing at night for 30 days. And you'll see. And it doesn't even take 30 days. I get emails all the time from people saying, oh my God, so different. So want to find out about getting investors in your company and your idea and your plan, whatever that looks like. We're going to put the link below in the comments. And just to let you know, Lauren hangs out in LinkedIn. I know we're on Facebook. We probably shouldn't be saying this on Facebook, but you probably will hear from her quicker if you decide to friend her or communicate with her. I just want you to know how to get a hold of her easier. Just so you know, we'll eventually be doing these over in LinkedIn as well, in LinkedIn land, but it's been around here more, so we've got it going. Lauren, is there any last bit of advice, anything that you want to say? Thank you so much for joining me.
Yeah, I mean, just what have you got to lose? Just take the leap. What's stopping you? If it's fear, don't let it stand in your way. Don't let you stand in the way of your future, really, truthfully. No matter what you need between myself and Brenda, I think we got you,
Probably true. And the thing is that I think at times, like, you've just put a face to somebody who can help you with this. And Lauren's very nice, right? I mean, she doesn't sound like, like she'd be like, oh, it's very scary to talk to. And has been very generous in the information that she's given us here. Can you imagine what would happen if you actually set up a time? Or if you know somebody, please, again, share this, tag people. Here's an offer that I think, we almost sound a little like, what is it, Godfather like, but I'm going to make you an offer that you can't refuse. I mean, this has to be an offer that you can't refuse, guys. So just say yes. So next week, I am actually having Kira Whittam on. Yeah, and so Lauren knows her as well. And she is oh my God, I think I'm going to butcher it. But anyways, she is kind of like Lauren and the whole fact that she has so many credentials that you can just shake a stick at. But really what she's going to be talking is about autoimmune disorders. And so I think she's a functional nutritionist. So, I mean, again, I could be butchering exactly what her title is, and I apologize for that.
She's amazing. She's amazing.
But she knows her stuff. Yeah. And so that's the deal, guys. I'm going to tell you right now, my Theta Healing Power Hours, I get people on who know their stuff. I'm very blessed to know some really good people in the know. So same time, same place next week. And thank you again, Lauren, for being the featured guest this week.
It's a pleasure.
Yeah. Bye, guys.
Bye, everyone.